My name is Brendan Hart, and I'm the founder of idX. The world loves experiencing flying for the first time, challenging and expressing ourselves, reviewing or seeking out awe-inspiring moments to make us feel confidence, joy, and ambition. This is why the world loves action sports. Looking at a subset of action sports, skiing and snowboarding, and looking at their participants, young riders have a few goals. One, to progress faster and avoid injury. And two, to get noticed by brands and competitions. Furthermore, people challenge themselves because these young lords and ladies hope to be queens and kings someday of the sport, like Tom Wallish. People like Tom and organizations and brands hope to discover the next Tom in order to be able to invest in that rider, boost their brand, sell more products, and grow skiing and snowboarding. With traditional sports, this has largely been solved by Huddle to find the next Michigan football star. And for time-based sports, this has been solved by Strava, both companies worth billions of dollars today. However, for action sports, it's a little bit difficult. And the reason why is because the language of action sports is trick-based. And this language is constantly evolving due to the infinite combinations of tricks and possibilities of the terrain. Furthermore, because there's not decades of mass brand exposure, one global world tour, or a globally accessible tech platform to understand action sports, that content gets lost. And it gets lost in the most accessible, addictive place out there, social media. Think about it. You see a skier doing a trick you don't know, and then boom, you move on to a cute dog and your interest is zapped from skiing. For those that are more interested, let's say you click into a rider. Well, clicking into a rider's profile is like seeing a clock that's right only 2 times a day. You see their followers and their views, but then you can't really understand what's going on. So then you reference PDFs of competition results, try to aggregate that back to the profile, reference all these other social media platforms, and ultimately, full-time jobs in the industry have been built out for people to become human ski and snowboard encyclopedia people. Because of this, the potential of action sports is wasted because riders, brands, and viewers have become disconnected from each other. This is illustrated by X Games 3 weeks ago being purchased by a PE firm for a rumored $50 to $100 million. Now, this might seem like a lot of money, but then you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars and they're valued at $3.4 billion. In what world does a brand like X Games, which has that brand power, competition infrastructure, and control not only over skiing and snowboarding, but of all action sports, in what world does that price make sense? Even more so, the market size of skiing and snowboarding is huge. There are 130 million skiers and snowboarders out there. Along with that, if we look at skiing and snowboarding skill on a normal distribution, there are about 8 to 17 million stories out there trying to make it, doing tricks and stunts, personally or competitively. Along with that, skiing and snowboarding was Strava's fastest growing sport this year. And furthermore, too, Eileen Gu, a superstar in the sport, is emerging as a world icon. But somehow, some way, we have to change the game to understand action sports and allow people to realize their dream of being in X Games. Allow idX to reintroduce ourselves. idX is a freestyle ski and snowboard app where real recognizes real. People can upload their tricks, tag their tricks, enter in virtual competitions, and ultimately build out their bag of tricks so they can get noticed by their crew, sponsors, and the world. Underpinning idX is our trick taxonomy, which describes the entire trick language of skiing and snowboarding. This trick taxonomy is adaptable to the waves of action sports. What this creates is, and what really idX offers, is a data-driven solution that unites everyone. And our data, at its core, is the trick name. It's literally what happens on the mountain. And that data is searchable, indexable, and viewable in a way that's relevant to action sports and not a clickbait social media algorithm. We have right now 1,400 tricks tagged on our app and 300 users, and it's growing every day as winter is approaching. Take some real-life use cases that are benefiting from idX. We have people like Will James, a student here at Michigan, who is posting tricks on the app that his friends can see and his friends can appreciate his skiing talent. From my experience too, working with the US ski and snowboard team for the past 2 years, people like Chloe Kim's head coach and Red Gerard's head coach are using the app to better engage their athletes and get more insight on tricks. Finally, people like USASA or Alpine training organizations are using that too to better engage their talent. At a risk of boiling the ocean, taking a look at the second-degree participants and how they benefit from our app, with our data, viewers can now understand action sports and skiing and snowboarding and what happens on the mountain. Broadcast and sports betting companies can leverage our data that other sports have adopted to essentially project and broadcast sports in a 21st century manner way. Competitions, US ski and snowboard, mountains, coaches, federations can gain insight and make investment decisions on terrain park infrastructure. And finally, brands can get insight on the next Tom Wallish. Right now, we offer a freemium subscription model. This includes people subscribing to professional athletes' discords through our app, but along with that, we're building out premium features that they can access on idX. Right now, too, we're onboarding coaches and mountains and federations to furthermore create and build out our user base. Next, we're onboarding brands to host virtual competitions. Think of it as native brand advertising and allow them access to certain parts of our data. And finally, we hope to become a data provider for broadcast and sports betting and world tours. Ultimately, with idX and our data, action sports are not left in the dark and are in the realm of traditional sports. Viewership increases, competitions increase. And what we really care about is that more skiers and snowboarders are able to progress. There's a higher budget for skiing and snowboarding films, and people are actually recognized for their talent. We've built a team that first understands action sports, but along with that, product market, and business development and engineering. This is back from me working at BlackRock for 4 years and being a Michigan engineering graduate. Cindy, who works at Amazon. Tag, who is a free ski coach, but also an amazing UI UX designer. And Gus, who is the head of data analytics at US Ski and Snowboard. Someone, too, that I've been mentioning throughout this presentation is Tom Wallish. For those not plugged into the free ski scene, Tom is the Michael Jordan times Steph Curry of free skiing. Along with being one of the most emulated skiers in the game, he's vertically integrated throughout the entire ski industry, and it's been invaluable to have him believe in our vision. With this team, we execute just like that same person dropping into the terrain park, hitting the steepest terrain they've ever done before. When the lights are the brightest and the show is the biggest, we deliver. We're growing, so this year, we will accomplish building out our ski and snowboard community, having 10 plus brands, academies, and mountains on board idX, and establish consistent user and corporate revenue. The next steps would be to refine the tech for broadcasters and betting, and get more pros and icons on board idX. Thanks for listening. If you want to change the game with me and us for action sports, here's my contact information. Appreciate it.